The quiet departure, the grand hall of the Galactic Council, was never silent. Voices always clashed, arguments echoed, and alien diplomats boasted of power and pride. But on this day, something different happened. Something no one expected. The humans left. No speeches, no threats, no warnings. They simply stood from their seat, bowed once, and walked out. For years, their place in the council had been at the far end of the great chamber, a modest seat compared to the shining thrones of the older races. Humanity had never demanded more. They had never asked for tribute, never claimed superiority. They had only voted, only advised, only reminded the council of the rules. And now, without a word, they were gone. The silence lasted only a moment. Before it broke into laughter, a Drevic delegate pounded the table with his claw. So the Deathworlders finally know their place. They could not keep up with us, so they ran. The Valari ambassador hissed in agreement. Good riddance. They always slowed progress with their endless demands for fairness. Others smirked. Some sneered. A few clapped in mock applause. Only one voice did not join the celebration. Elder Thalos of the Zelleran leaned on his staff, his old eyes following the empty seat where humans had once sat. His voice was rough, heavy with age. "Fools," he said, quietly. Several heads turned toward him. "What did you say, old one?" The Drevic delegate growled. Thalos tapped his staff once on the floor. "When Deathworlders walk away, it is not weakness. It is warning." Laughter rolled again, louder this time. No one wanted to hear the trembling edge in his voice. Commander Yelka, the young Cern envoy, leaned close to her mentor. Why would humans leave so suddenly, without a word? Thalos shook his head slowly. Because words are wasted on those who will not listen. Outside the chamber, the human delegation moved quietly through the vast marble corridors. Their leader, ambassador, Hale, said nothing to the guards who stared at them with mocking eyes. He only carried a small case, the seal of Earth etched on its side. Other diplomats whispered as the humans passed. Look at them, leading in silence. Finally, the council will move without their interference. They never belonged here, but Hale did not look back. He and his team walked straight to their shuttle and departed. No explanations, no promises, only silence. Back in the chamber, the council resumed its business. Treaties were debated. Votes were taken. Without the humans, decisions came easier. Trade taxes were raised. Border rules loosened. Military restrictions eased. The delegates congratulated each other. See? The Valari smiled. Already we are stronger. Human absence is a blessing, the Drevic declared. Now, true power will guide the galaxy. The chamber roared in agreement, but Elder Thalos kept his eyes on the empty seat. His heart was heavy. Days passed, and weeks. At first, nothing seemed different. The council worked faster, without humans slowing every decision with endless questions. But soon, small cracks appeared. Pirate fleets rose in the outer lanes. Human patrols once guarded those routes, but now they were gone. Trade convoys were hit, merchants killed, shipments lost. The Drevic promised to handle it, but their fleets demanded payment first. The smaller races could not afford it. Arguments grew louder. Why should we pay tribute for protection? One shouted, because the humans used to give it freely. Another whispered, but no one listened. Meanwhile, rumors spread. Some claimed human embassies were closing on council worlds. Others said their fleets had withdrawn to Sol, building something new in the shadows. When asked directly, Earth sent no reply. They were silent, and that silence was worse than any threat. Commander Yelka could not ignore it. She returned to the archives, studying old records. She read of human wars, their rise against empires larger than themselves, their refusal to surrender, their endless patience. She found an old speech by a human admiral. The words chilled her. We do not fight to be noticed. We fight because the galaxy forgets what silence means. When we leave quietly, it is not because we are weak. It is because we have chosen not to speak. And when we choose not to speak, we are already preparing to act. Yelka's blood ran cold. She hurried to tell Elder Tha Lost Dot. He only nodded. Yes, child. They are not gone. They are waiting. The council has not seen the storm yet, but it will. In the grand hall, the Drevik delegate raised his voice again. Let this day be remembered as the end of human arrogance. The council stands taller without them. The chamber erupted in cheers, but above their heads, the cameras showed the empty seat still waiting, still unclaimed, still heavy with the silence of Deathworlders. And somewhere far from the council's reach, Earth ships vanished from common star charts. Slipping into the dark, they had stepped away without a word. And in that silence, the seeds of ruin were already planted. The empty seat, the grand hall of the Galactic Council, looked the same as always. The vast chamber glowed with crystal lights, banners of 100 races hanging from the dome above. Yet to anyone watching closely, something had changed. The seat. At the far end of the table, the human seat, remained empty. At first, the council members pretended not to notice. Decisions were made faster now. Trade laws passed without debate. Border disputes ended with swift rulings. Without the humans asking questions, raising doubts, or demanding fairness, the council moved like a sharp blade instead of a heavy hammer. The Drevik delegate grinned across the chamber. See? No more delays. No more endless speeches about rights and balance. Progress has finally returned. Many nodded. The Valari agreed. The CERN clapped their claws. Even the usually cautious Irix leaned forward in approval. But Elder Thalos only lowered his head. His old eyes stayed on that empty chair. Beyond the chamber walls, the cracks began to show. The first was trade. The human fleets that once patrolled the outer lanes were gone. Pirates, long kept in check, struck like wolves on unguarded roads. At first, the council dismissed the reports. A few missing ships are nothing, the Valari ambassador said. The merchants exaggerate, the Drevik sneered. Trade has always been dangerous, another muttered, but the numbers grew. Dozens of convoys vanished. Stations reported shortages. Food prices rose on smaller worlds. By the time the council reacted, the pirates had grown bolder. They did not just steal cargo. They destroyed escorts, burned colonies, and carved territory. From the edge of council space, the smaller races cried out for help. The humans always patrolled our lanes. The Yalari governor shouted in a council meeting. They asked nothing in return. Now our people starve. The Drevik answered with a smirk. Then pay us. Our fleets will protect your trade for proper tribute. Anger erupted across the chamber. The smaller races demanded fairness. The larger races demanded payment. Voices rose until the hall shook with shouts. And through it all, the empty seat watched in silence. Commander Yelka sat in her quarters, staring at her data slate. She had begun collecting reports, pirate activity, rebellions, trade failures. Every line of data told the same story. Humanity's absence was a wound, and it was spreading. Her mentor, Elder Thalos, joined her. He studied the files and sighed. The council was blind with arrogance. They thought humans were just another voice in the chamber. They never understood the work done in the shadows. Yelka frowned. What work? Thalos leaned on his staff. The humans were the glue. They patrolled the lanes for free. They sent food to famine worlds without asking for repayment. They mediated border disputes before they became wars. No one noticed because they did it quietly. Now they are gone, and the galaxy feels the weight of their silence. Yelka looked at the empty reports. Did they plan this? The old man's voice was low. I think they did nothing at all. And that is what makes it worse. They simply walked away. And without their hand, everything begins to fall. In the following weeks, more cracks spread. The Valari and Drevik clashed over mining rights in the Red Belt. Shots were exchanged, ships damaged. Each side accused the other. The council ordered peace, but neither side listened. Why should they? Without the humans, the council's words carried less weight. In secret corridors, whispers grew louder. They never argued like this when Earth was here. The humans kept balance. No one wanted to anger them. Perhaps we should not have mocked them when they left. But no one dared say it aloud in the chamber. Pride was too strong. Meanwhile, a rumor began to spread quiet at first, then louder. Merchants claimed to see human ships on hidden routes. Some said they carried supplies to independent colonies. Others swore they saw Terran warships escorting caravans outside council space. Impossible. The Drevik snapped when confronted. They are weak. They hide on their homeworld, licking their wounds. But Elder Thalos whispered to Yelka, "Do not believe the Drevik. The humans are not hiding. They are building." One night, Yelka sat alone in her quarters, watching a recording she had uncovered. It was old, archived from the last war when humans had joined the council against the Zeth Empire. The human admiral's words echoed again. The galaxy does not notice our silence, but silence is not surrender. It is the deep breath before the storm. Yelka's hands shook as she stopped the recording. Her eyes went to the empty chair in the chamber, and for the first time she understood. The storm had already begun. Back in the council hall, the Drevik delegate once again raised his voice. "We must expand. Take the lanes the humans abandoned. Their silence is our gain." The hall roared with approval.